Now, if you're a fan of your comedy, you might recognise this.
Rushing through the stars, captivated by the worlds beyond.
The theme to the series Early Doors.
So far.
Set in and around the Grapes pub and written by Craig Cash and Phil Mealey, who of course also worked on The Royal Family. And Phil Mealey is bringing the story of Early Doors behind the bar and beyond to Theatre Severn in Shrewsbury in May. And he's here now to tell you more. Phil, welcome to the show. Hello.
Hello, Ryan. It's good to be here.
Thank you.
All good.
We have got so much to talk about. This is so exciting. Early Doors, behind the bar and beyond. So this is kind of taking us a little bit behind the scenes and some of the things we may not know about the show.
Well, that's right. I mean, the thing is that, I mean, we luckily we've got a really loyal fan base for Early Doors. I think it's probably more popular now than it ever was, to be quite honest with you, because it's one of those programs, I think, that via word of mouth, people got to know it. At the time that it was on, I think they put it up against I'm a Celebrity, the results show or something like that. So it was kind of, we were up against it, really. But it's just grown and grown. And I've got loads of sort of, I do an Early Doors podcast, but even that, there's sort of scenes that never quite made it, which I'm going to talk about and maybe even act out a little bit. And there are like stories of how Early Doors came to fruition, and stories about different scenes that we worked on and on set and what the people were like, and also the Royal Family as well. Of course, I co-wrote on the Royal Family, so I'll be discussing some of that and showing some of my favourite clips as well, and how how the clips came about and what and who they were based on. Because obviously some of the characters, well, Phil and Nige actually were real coppers. The guys who were the coppers in it, we used to go drinking in the pub, and they were real people. So yeah, it's just a celebration really of the program, the work, and a little insight into what happened behind closed doors, if you like, behind the bar and beyond.
Behind the bar and beyond, as it's called. So obviously, with Early Doors, all of the action is set in the pub. Is that where it started? Was it an idea that you and Craig Cash had in the pub to kind of set the ball rolling?
Well, no, originally we were going to write something a kind of like a funny Coronation Street, I guess. We thought we would write about a pub, and we quite liked writing for older people. So we thought we'd write about an older woman who has a home help that comes in. And we had a fish and chip shop, I seem to remember. We had a local police station. But whenever we wrote, we always say, well, let's do some more about the pub, or let's write some more about Winnie and Jean, and then we just thought, why don't we just try and combine? Or is there a way? And then we just said, oh yeah, we can do that. We can have the coppers coming in. We can have upstairs, and make it the landlord's mother. And it was just a way of combining all of those elements of it, really. And in fact, it's funny because from the Royal Family, I guess, Early Doors is action-packed, isn't it, compared to the Royal Family? There's actually 3 locations. As opposed to
rather than just the living room.
Yeah.
It's like, actually, you move to the back, you're at the bar, and you're upstairs. It's all over.
Chaotic, isn't it?
How did you cope with everything?
I know, yeah.
But really well observed, and I get it's the characters, isn't it, that bring it to life, and it's those kind of relatable characters that we all know that you bump into in the street, down the fish and chip shop, or indeed down the pub.
Yeah, well, I think that's why it's lasted so long, and why it's still that fans love it, and why they still go back to it again and again. I talk to people and say, "Oh, we take it on holiday with us. We go with a DVD, or we watch it when we're on holiday when we come back from the pub, or we put it on the iPlayer. It's on the iPlayer, and we're always." And I think it's that thing of, even though they know what's going to happen, there's a warmth to it. And there's a and there's a nostalgia to it, but there is a real warmth and a love for it, and even though the characters are taking the mickey out of each other, um, they are characters that we all recognise and know. Maybe some of the characters are ourselves. I mean, I'm old Tommy these days. I'm the
You're
miserable
less
one that sits
Duffy.
in the. Yeah, I'm not Duffy anymore. I sit in the corner going, yeah, are you not stopping? I'll stay on my own. Yeah. So,
I don't want to go getting in around.
yeah. You're all
Oh,
right. I'm all right. It's the others I'm worried about. But yeah, so it's all that. It's
because
all
of
that.
because you star in this, but you write it as well
Mm.
with Early Doors. As a writer, what's it like watching someone else deliver a line that you've come up with, and sometimes a killer line like that?
Depends how they deliver it, and if they deliver it right.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
well, it's great. I mean, uh, we were lucky. I mean, some would say that we were kind of megalomaniacs a little bit, really. But me, with Craig and myself, and with Caroline as well, we would always be in on all the aspects of it. So the casting of it, so not just the writing, the casting of it on set all the time, in the edit all the time. And I think it's really important, particularly with comedy. I'm not sort of trying to say that comedy is better than drama or that it's more important, but it is. I think comedy uh, is quite opinionated, isn't it? It's quite, some people have uh, definite opinions about a comedy, whether they really like it or they think it's rubbish or whatever. So I think it's really when you write it yourself, it's really important with the timing and reactions and things like that. So we would always be in every aspect of it. So we were lucky, although we chose them as well, in that when we would cast it, we would always be on the casting session, so we would know, oh right, this character's, this person, this actor's really good. They've got it. So as far as delivering the lines is concerned, we've already sort of done the groundwork and thought, right, they can do it,
And
and
kind of
obviously,
tailored it to them to a certain
yeah.
extent.
I
Yeah,
mean,
because
like
you
with
know
the
who it is.
coppers. I mean, we saw Peter White. What was great, Peter White, who played the old, I've got a right, David. Yeah, him. Uh, he was he's done loads of work. He's a really seasoned actor. And what was great was when he came in for the audition, he was apologising all the time because he kept laughing all the time when he was reading it, and it was like gold to us. It was like, oh yeah. Well, let's get it. And he said, "Oh, this is very unprofessional," And then he'd read again, and he'd start laughing again. So it was like,
It's like
it
we're onto
really sort of
something here.
fueled. Yeah,
Really
it
good.
fueled us.
Yeah, exactly. What comedy do you admire then, Phil?
I'd say I'm quite enjoying. I'm not one of these, I'm not a comedy snob, so I don't mind. I like all sorts of comedy, really. I'm quite enjoying Dawn French's thing at the moment, actually. Um, is it? Can you keep? Is it? Can you keep a secret? Something like that. That's
Is it?
good. I
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Again, uh, it's quite, it's well observed, I think. But I love this country. I thought this country was great. I quite like a lot of American comedy as well. Um, uh, I, I was a big fan, but this is of Frasier and things like that. I thought that was brilliant. So it's just for me. Um, yeah, a lot of the time, comedy it's labeled a comedy, and you watch some comedies and you think, well, it's situation comedy. Well, I can see the situation, but I'm really struggling to find the comedy. So if it makes you laugh out loud, I think it's done its job. A lot of comedies, you know, or quite a few comedies that are, are around. You think, well, it's very meaningful and it's quite clever, but I'm not sewing my sides up.
I'm not so much side to the same cannot be said for Early Doors. Let's put it that way. Definitely not. And
I hate to say,
we are in for a treat with this. Early Doors,
yeah,
Behind the Bar and Beyond. Theatre Severn Shrewsbury, Friday, 1st of May. I think it's going
best.
to be a great night. It's going to be a great insight. Phil, it's been great talking to you. To the
Oh, cheers, Ryan.
regiment.
I wish I was there. Cheers, Ryan. Thanks very much.